You know that feeling when you get a raise, you check your bank account, and you just kind of think, wait a minute, where is it? Well, that's a really common feeling, especially for millions of us who get Social Security. So today, we're going to be detectives. We're opening up the case file on the mystery of the vanishing Social Security raise. I mean, this quote says it all, right? It's the exact question a friend of mine, Margaret, asked me not too long ago. She saw the headlines, she got her statement, and she actually felt like her budget was tighter than before. Does that sound familiar at all? Well, let's figure out what's really going on here. So the whole story kicks off with this number. The Social Security Administration announces the official 2026 cost of living adjustment. You know, the COLA. It's a 2.8% increase for every single person. And on paper, hey, that sounds pretty good. But you're not imagining things if that check feels a little lighter than advertised. So where did that 2.8% raise actually go? We're going to follow the clues together and crack this case right now. All right, let's get our detective hats on. Every good investigation has to start with the basics, right? Before we can start pointing fingers and identifying suspects, we need to understand the victim here, the cost of living adjustment itself. What is this COLA thing even supposed to do? The COLA's job is actually pretty simple. It's supposed to help your Social Security benefit keep pace with rising prices. Think of it as your financial life raft in the big, choppy sea of inflation. But as we're about to find out, sometimes that raft has a few leaks. Okay, time to reveal our first and honestly most direct clue in this whole mystery. This is the one that gets nearly everyone, and it happens before that money even has a chance to hit your bank account. I'm talking about the automatic deduction for Medicare. So let's put some real numbers to this. For an average retiree getting about $2,000 a month, that 2.8% COLA means an extra $56. Okay, over a year, that's $672. Not going to change your life, but you should definitely feel it. But then, boom, this happens. The standard Medicare Part B premium also went up in 2026, this time by $17.90 every month. And because that premium gets automatically pulled right out of your Social Security check, your raise starts shrinking immediately. And that brings us to the reality check. The math here is simple, but wow, it's kind of brutal. That $56 raise, it instantly becomes just over $38. A full third of it is just gone before you ever see it. Now, here's where it gets really fascinating. Look at how this plays out differently depending on your situation. For a lower-income retiree, the net raise is a tiny $21 a month. But for folks with higher incomes, as we're about to see, these Medicare costs can actually wipe out the entire COLA and sometimes even put you in the negative. All right, that was clue number one. Let's move on to our next clue, because this one goes a lot deeper. It's more systemic. It turns out the very formula they use to calculate your raise might be fundamentally out of sync with how you actually live your life. I absolutely love this quote. It just perfectly gets to the heart of the problem. Social Security's calculation for inflation, it might be accurate, sure, but what if it's measuring all the wrong things? Okay, so here's the crucial part. The COLA is based on an index called the CPI-W, and that tracks the spending of people who are still working. It's basically measuring a 40-year-old's wallet. But there's another index, the CPI-E, that tracks what retirees spend, and believe me, it tells a very, very different story. And this chart right here shows you exactly why this matters so much. Look at that. Retirees spend more than double the proportion of their budget on healthcare compared to working folks. But since the COLA uses the workers' index, it's constantly undervaluing a retiree's single biggest and fastest growing expense. So what happens when this mismatch goes on year after year after year? Well, the result is staggering. According to some great research from the Senior Citizens League, the actual purchasing power of your Social Security benefits has plummeted by 36% since the year 2000, and that's with all the cost of living adjustments we've gotten. And now for our final suspect. Now this one doesn't affect everybody, but for the people it does hit, oh man, it can make the entire raise and then some, just vanish in an instant. This is what's known as the IRMA trap. So what the heck is IRMA? Basically, it's a surcharge on your Medicare premium. If your income from 2 years ago was above a certain level, you pay more. It's a series of cliffs, and the scary part is you might not even realize you're getting close to the edge. Just take a look at this table. The standard premium for 2026 is about $203, but if your income back in 2024 was just over $95,000, bam, your premium jumps to nearly $268. And from there, the increases just get steeper and steeper. And here's the trap in its craziest form. Earning just one single dollar more that pushes you into that next bracket can end up costing you almost $800 a year in extra Medicare premiums. It's a really punishing system if you don't see it coming. Okay, so we've identified the culprits. We've solved the mystery. But this isn't just about understanding the problem, right? It's about figuring out what you can actually do about it. So let's pivot to a clear, actionable plan to protect your real benefit. So here it is, your 3-step action plan. Step 1, find your real number. That means your benefit after the Medicare deduction. Forget the headline number. Step 2, you have got to know your bracket. Look up the current IRMA tiers and figure out where you stand. And number 3, and this is so crucial, you need to know your rights to appeal. Now listen up, because this is key. A lot of people don't know this, but if your income dropped in a big way because of a major life event, things like retiring, a divorce, or even selling your home, you can formally appeal your IRMA determination. This could potentially lower your premium for this year, putting hundreds of dollars right back where they belong, in your pocket. So at the end of the day, the big takeaway is crystal clear. That headline number you see in the news, that's not your reality. The real question is, are you tracking and budgeting based on the real number, the one that actually shows up in your bank account? Because that's the only number that truly matters.